Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Negative Backrooms Levels Explained series, which is the series where I'm going to be covering all of the Negative Backrooms levels, obviously. Today I'm covering levels -2 and level -4. Now I know what you're thinking, what happened to level -3? Well, it doesn't exist, apparently, so I'm going to be doing level -4 instead. Hopefully enjoy the video. These levels are pretty crazy, and they might be some of my favorite ones actually. No joke. So let's get right into it. But first, a word from today's sponsor, World of Warships. World of Warships is an awesome team-based sea battle game available on PC. With over 44 million players, there's an incredibly fun and interactive gameplay environment that allows you to use different tactics and strategies, and you can also play with your friends in Division. The game has over 400 historical ships that look incredible when paired with the beautiful in-game maps and unique living landscapes. But that's not all, because you are also in complete control of these ships, and you can customize them however you want to. The ship classes range from destroyers to battleships to cruisers and aircraft carriers, all the way down to submarines, each of which has their own exclusive perks that make them different from each other. You can also have Godzilla as the commander of your ship, or you can have Kong calling the shots if you want. You can also interact with some awesome characters from Azure Lane, or you can battle against giant monsters from Big Hunt. By downloading World of Warships and using code FIRE and registering into the game through the first link in the description box, you'll get access to a huge starter pack that features 200 doubloons, 1 million credits, a tier 5 USS Texas, a 20 times Restless fire camouflage, and 7 days of a premium account. That's literally a steal. Check out World of Warships using the first link below and have fun in the battle. Level -2 is classified as a Class 4 survival difficulty and is unsafe and unsecure, with a medium entity count. Also, sorry, my voice is kind of weird. My nose is stopped up. What's new? The entire area of level -2 is actually split between 4 different sub-areas, which I'll explain in a second. The whole level is considered to be dangerous all the time because there are multiple undocumented hostile entities and multiple properties that are not understood about at all. And the level itself actually emits a really weird energy that attracts wanderers to it as soon as they get close to an entrance door to the level. It sort of lures them in. No one knows how or why this happens, so that's pretty creepy. Now I'm going to get into the 4 different areas of the level. The first part is called the pool. This area is a huge flooded, unfinished basement with wood pillars and support beams placed all around. There's also a bunch of pipes and vents on the walls and ceilings, and there's actually uncovered electrical wires that run across the walls as well. That's a recipe for disaster. The only light source in the area are these orange light bulbs on the roof that kind of emit a really calming glow. The water that's flooded this basement is actually almond water, but it's not even safe to drink because it's really high in dirt and iron content, and apparently there's like a harmful bacteria that lives in the water as well, so that's no fun. One of the weird things that happens in this section of the level is that sometimes you can get teleported from one spot in the water to another spot. Like you could just randomly be walking and then be teleported to a completely different hallway. Other than the teleporting though, and the other stuff I mentioned, nothing else has really been discovered about this area. And the only really weird thing, minus the flooded floors of course, is that all the hallways in this zone take only right turns, 90-degree angle turns to be exact. There's never a rounded turn or a hallway, and some of the halls themselves are so short and so skinny that you could get claustrophobia from it. So if you get claustrophobia, don't come here, and if you have hydrophobia and claustrophobia, definitely don't come here. How deep the water is literally changes all the time, so it's advised to be extremely cautious when you're walking around the level. The safest spots in this zone are always where those orange lights are glowing, because when you get there you can see and it's less dangerous, and when you escape that light area and it's all dark, wanderers have reported extreme paranoia. The water itself has had some weird occurrences too, like one time it apparently moved on its own and tried to talk to someone by spouting up water in the air, so the water might be sentient, we don't know. To get to the next zone that I'm about to talk about, you have to walk through the halls of the flooded zone, and eventually they'll change into the next level and become less flooded gradually. However, in these halls, there's actually an entity called the Screamers that live here. They're tall humanoids that have no face, except a huge mouth, and literally all they do, their only purpose, is that they scream at the top of their lungs at wanderers and paralyze them with fear. The screams can only be heard by the wanderer that's being attacked though, so if you get screamed at, no one's gonna come to help you because they can't hear it. Okay. So if you make it past the screamers and the flooded claustrophobic hallways, the next part of the level is called the Hall of Dull Flames. And this is a huge expanse of baby blue concreted walls and ceilings with white carpet on the floor. This entire zone has these blue lanterns that emit this really weird blue light that basks the walls and the ceiling. Speaking of the walls themselves look like they're kind of vintage from the Victorian era specifically, and there's paintings on the walls from the 1600s. There's been a bunch of reports in this area actually about some weird sounds that happen, like a distorted piano playing Beethoven, or the sounds of screaming. The main entities in these blue halls are actually skin stealers and screamers, of course. Not too bad. But in very rare cases, the blue lights here will turn red, which actually means that you should stop moving instantly until they turn blue again. Because if you keep walking when they're red, you'll literally and physically fade from existence. The next zone is called the Abyss. I wonder if it'll be scary or not. This area is a huge void type zone where everything surrounding you is pitch black except what's right in front of you. There are some weird structures in this zone too. Like there's entire pieces of furniture and kitchen appliances that are literally made from forks and knives and stuff like that, just kitchen utensils. And there's also this really faint ticking noise that can be heard wherever you are in the Abyss. And I guess I was wrong about this zone being scary, because it says right here on the Wikidot that the zone is actually safe. You love to see it. Most wanderers end up finding the exit to the entire level here in the Abyss. So the areas past this zone are mostly undocumented, except for one, which I'll talk about now. The last zone is called the Kafkaski Maze. I think that's how you say it. This zone is a huge maze made out of big bushes with purple leaves. And there's actually a sky here, and it's bright blue with clouds, and the grass on the ground is also purple, just like the bushes. And there's these random statues of clocks around, but other than this, everything else about this zone is pretty much not known. And there's sometimes these random empty pedestals with no statues on top, and each of these pedestals has a bronze card on it that says the Shavik. No clue what that means, but I mean, it sounds pretty weird and creepy. I guess this zone is just a big area with purple bushes and grass and random statues of clocks. Pretty weird. So that's it for the documented zones of level -2, and there aren't any bases in any of them, but apparently Meg is trying to set up a base in the Abyss. To enter level -2, you can enter any of the doors from level -1, or you can no-clip through a yellow wall on level 13 to be sent here. To exit, you can find a set of out-of-place stairs randomly around the level, and they'll take you to level 14, or you can just find the entrance to level -3, which doesn't exist somehow, on any of the zones except for the pool. Nice. Next up for the video is level -4, which is classified as a class undetermined because of some really weird and creepy, mysterious properties that I'll get into in a second. Physically, it looks like a huge dark forest with literally no signs of human or animal life. Just a massive, untamed forest, pretty much. Everyone who enters this level always enters from the exact same spot, which just so happens to be inside of a barn that's been randomly placed in the middle of the woods. And this is actually the only structure on this level. Now, other than what I just said, this level is pretty much undocumented, and it's kind of hard to travel in because the compasses you have and the flashlights you could use, they'll randomly break or stop working when you're out in the woods. So it's kind of like the level doesn't want to be explored. There aren't any outposts here, but there's been a bunch of attempts by Meg to start one up, and all of them have failed. These are pretty creepy, so watch out. The first attempt was called Outpost Charity, and it was founded a year after level -4 was discovered. It was located right next to that barn you spawn in at, and the group that made this outpost was 5 Meg volunteers, which were given 2 months of supplies up front. They were supposed to distribute these supplies evenly among each other, but when the second supply crate got there and was dropped off, the 5 members never came to get it, so Meg sent out a search team to find them. They found the members in a circle around the original rations crate, and they were all holding hands, and they were all unalived due to malnutrition. None of the rations inside of the supply crate were even touched. It was completely full, but for some reason they were all holding hands, standing around it, and weren't even alive. That's terrifying. The next failed outpost was called Outpost Burns, and this was created 4 months after that first incident. This one had 3 members who lived without issue for 3 months, but when the 4th month came along, all 3 people vanished from the camp area. The only evidence left behind was actually a picture taken by one of the members while they were still at camp, and on the back of the picture it was written in scribbly handwriting, "Going north, don't follow." None of the 3 people were ever found again. The 3rd failed outpost is kind of lame. Pretty much it was 4 people who burned down their rations. Not gonna lie, that's kind of lame. Now the last failed outpost I'm going to talk about was called Outpost Red Forest. This actually was started by 13 people in a collaboration between Meg and the followers of Jerry. It was made right at the barn's entrance, and it lasted a full 8 months before it fell. Out of all 13 members, only 3 survived, and the ones that did survive have severe issues in their head right now. Apparently, the 10 that didn't make it were all unalived by an undocumented being called the Grey One. And just like the first time, these people were all in a circle holding hands inside of the barn. Not cool, bro. So if I had to guess, the entity that destroyed this outpost was also the same one that destroyed the first outpost as well. It kind of reminds me of the Blair Witch though. If you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. To enter this weird level, you can walk through one of the doors on level -1, which will put you back in that barn, and to exit, all you have to do is wander into the woods, and you'll randomly no-clip back to level -1 or on to level -5, which I'll talk about in the next negative levels video. That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, guys. We're so close to 100K. I mean, we're growing so quickly. Thank you. Just thank you so much. As always, thank you to my patrons for supporting me and my channel members for supporting me. You guys are awesome. Check out the links below to my second channel and to my Discord if you want to get a hold of me or if you want to join the SMP. Go check those links out and drop a comment telling me what levels you would like to see me go over. I have a really unique video coming out soon that no one has ever done before, so I hope you like it. Thank you for watching the video, and thank you to World of Warships for sponsoring this video. Check them out with the first link below for more information. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.